appeared as a moral dilemma, cause at first it was weird, though I swore to eliminate the worst of the plague that devoured humanity. It's true, I was vague on the how, so how can it be that you have shown me the light? It's a brand new day, and the sun is high. All the birds are singing that you're gonna die. How I hesitated, now I wonder why. It's a brand new day.
Hey guys, OptimusPhillip back again with another review. Another movie review this time. Chances are you haven't seen this movie in theaters though, because it wasn't released theatrically. It was released online, 3 15-minute segments on average, with 2 days between the release of each one. Today, I'll be taking a look at Dr. Horrible's sing-along vlog. As typical with movie reviews, this will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen this movie and don't want to be spoiled, you may want to stop watching now and wait until you've seen the film. It is available on DVD, and by extension Netflix is streaming, YouTube, and iTunes, among other venues. I'm going to review this film act by act by act, as in I'll look at one act, and repeat that with the next 2 acts, and then express my overall thoughts on it. Act 1. It opens with Dr. Horrible, played by Neil Patrick Harris, vlogging. One thing, his vlog is what you immediately think of when you think of a vlog. It's what we like to call a vlog. Anyway, he talks about his recent application into illegal evil, then he moves on to reading viewer emails. One concerns the recent heist of gold bars involving a trans matter ray, where he reveals there was an issue where the molecule shifted, liquefying the gold, which he claims is not major as he couldn't care less about gold, he just wants to change the status quo, because apparently status is not gold. The next is from his enemy Johnny Snow, who waited at the park for 45 minutes for Horrible, who Snow claims to be his nemesis, to show up and do battle. Here he reveals that his arch nemesis is Captain Hammer. Eventually he gets to one where a longtime watcher asks who he's referring to when he says he will, quote, show her the way, show her he is a true villain. Then we get the first song by Freeze Ray, or as others have called it, Laundry Day, where he sings about his crush from the laundromat, Penny, played by Felicia Day. The Freeze Ray, by the way, is not what you think of immediately when you think of the Freeze Ray, which exists in this universe as Johnny Snow's ice beam. It freezes things in time, not in ice. Anyway, then Horrible gets a letter from Bad Horse, leader of the ELE. The letter is expressed in this movie as the song Bad Horse Chorus, which states that the League is evaluating the application and is looking out for his next heinous crime. He then goes off to steal some Wonder Fillion, which he needs for his freeze ray to work. Later, he encounters Penny, who is petitioning for a building to be turned into a homeless shelter, again expressed in the song called Caring Hands. We also learn that Horrible's real name is Billy. He signs the petition, despite appearing uninterested, as he needs to stay attentive to remote features and to hijack the courier van with the Wonder Fillion. However, he is foiled by a hammer who destroys the remote receiver, willingly putting Penny in danger. He pushes Penny into a pile of garbage and puts his hands out to stop the van just as Horrible regains control and hits the brakes, causing everyone to think Hammer stopped it. Penny instantly falls in love with Hammer, luckily distracting him so Horrible can steal the Wonder Fillion. The whole heist slash foiling slash Penny and Hammer thing is covered by the song A Man's Gotta Do It, and Act 1. Moving on to Act 2, we see Dr. Horrible stalking Penny and Captain Hammer on their dates while unknowingly duetting with Penny while singing the song On the Rise, or My Eyes as it's also called. A link to a compilation of the whole soundtrack is in the description, by the way. Later at the laundromat, Penny and Billy are chit-chatting as friends while sharing frozen yogurt. Billy claims they accidentally gave him 2 when he asked for 1, but that's obviously a lie. They talk about Captain Hammer, and when he finds out she'll be seeing him again, he drives his fork into his leg. Later in his blog, he talks about how he freed Captain Hammer with his freeze ray to get into the ELE. However, in his next blog post, there's nothing shown between, by the way, is revealed not only did his freeze ray not work quite right, but the Hammer and the police watch his blog, confirming my first impression from the Netflix description, that blogging about your evil plans is a bad idea, and the Hammer threw a car at his head. He receives a phone call from the League, another song, stating that he now has to kill someone to get in. He first has trouble deciding if he should even try. However, after a conversation with Penny where she tells him in the form of a song, Penny's song, about how she grew up in a troubled life but soon learned there's a world of people who have it worse than her, Captain Hammer shows up recognizes Billy, and reveals that he doesn't care about Fillion and is just trying to peeve Horrible by going out with her. I'm uncomfortable talking about the specifics as I'm still in my early teens. This leads Horrible to decide on Hammer as his victim, expressing this in the form of my favorite song from this musical, Brand New Day. Lastly, we have Act 3. This is where I'd recommend those who haven't seen this film to stop watching for fear of spoilers. Captain Hammer has convinced the mayor to sign over the building as a homeless shelter, and the city is abuzz with talk about it in the song So They Say. Meanwhile, Dr. Horrible is turning his stun ray into a death ray. Later, the mayor is dedicating the shelter and will unveil a statue of Captain Hammer. Hammer goes up to deliver a speech in the form of the song Everyone's a Hero, where he basically patronizes and insults the audience, including the homeless whom this shelter will be helping, saying things like everyone's a hero in their own way, in their own not that heroic way, or get up, go out and fly, especially that guy, he smells like poo. Eventually, Horrible reveals himself, he somehow got rid of the statue and hid under the veil, and frees Hammer. He sings the song Slipping, which is about how people are so dumb as to not see how self-absorbed Hammer truly is. Somehow the only one offended by Hammer's speech was Penny, not even the guy who, quote, smells like poo. He prepares to kill Hammer, when suddenly the freeze ray shuts down, allowing Hammer to punch Horrible across the room. He picks up the death ray and, despite Horrible's warnings about the damages, tries to use it on him. It explodes, sending shrapnel all over the room and causing Hammer to experience pain for apparently the first time ever. Horrible is at first pleased that Hammer is defeated, but is soon horrified when he sees that seemingly the only person hit with shrapnel is Penny, who dies in his arms. Horrible declares a Pyrrhic victory, having defeated Hammer and unwillingly met his quota of killing someone, despite that being the one with whom he wanted to rule the world, in the song Everything You Ever. A cruelly ironic title based on his line in Slipping, then I win, then I get everything I ever. He ends the movie sitting down with the evil League of Evil, proclaiming, now the nightmare's real. Now Dr. Horrible is here to make you quake with fear, to make the whole world kneel, and I won't feel a thing. This movie is fun, exciting, and totally shocking. Some have complained that they don't like the ending, which is understandable, especially considering how many beloved characters director Joss Whedon has already killed off. But I personally don't see it as a deal breaker as some have. I definitely owe some thanks to Captain Logan from Geek Evolution for helping me to understand some things about the characterizations and the metaphors given by the ending. He says that nobody really wins because they're all three archetypes with no room for change or compromise: the eternal pessimist, the eternal optimist, and the selfish guy, respectively. Billy is Billy is the pessimist, best illustrated by his line on the rise, and the dolt with half a brain can see that humankind has gone insane. He thinks that the world is all wrong and people are too dumb to notice or care, not realizing there is plenty of right in the world and that there are people who know what's wrong with the world and want to make it better. He has aspirations to change the world for the better, but he's taking a misguided approach. Penny is the optimist, best illustrated by a line on the rise, I believe there's good in everybody's heart. She thinks that all people are inherently good, when in actuality, there are people who are not that way. She's taking a more sensible approach to change the world by doing her small part to change the world and to influence other people to do the same, such as volunteering at a homeless shelter. And Captain Hammer just wants the world to revolve around him and doesn't care about anything else. Penny dies because she's caught between two dangerous men in whom she believes and about whom she cares. Dr. Horrible can't find the good in people, and as a result, he loses the one thing he wants as much as joining the ELE, perhaps even more. He loses the very representation of what he's missing: compassion. Once again, I'd like to thank Captain Logan's Superhero Rewind review on this movie for that information. The link is in the description. Love triangle based plots have kind of been ruined for people like me by Twilight, but I like this because Billy and Penny have great chemistry, and it doesn't feel forced or like the main attraction. It's a shame she had to die. But moving on from that, it's a very good movie considering how it's only 45 minutes or so long, and I like the execution, even if the concept seemed off-putting at first. Overall, I'm giving Dr. Horrible's sing-along log a 10 out of 10.
to think that I'm the dark is everywhere, and Penny doesn't seem to care. That she, the dark in me, is all that will remain. And I listen close to everybody's heart and hear that breaking sound. Hopes and dreams are shattering apart and crashing to the ground. I cannot believe my eyes, how the world's finally growing wide.